Now, putting you in the fridge because my phone is overheating. So, I hope this not get wet.
Claimed that there was some major information that could potentially change the whole situation. Now, we've finally gotten a better idea of what that information actually is. Lucas recently posted a long thread explaining what he had learned. According to him, Soul is unable to DevX the Robux he receives from his share of Forsaken. This would mean that
advanced skincare starts in your shower. Meet the new Dove Serum Body Wash. Experience active levels of skincare. Get Dove or get FOMO. CDO Idol Hotdog. Need a long fast? Mabilis mabilis sumaya.
any Robux he gets from the game simply stays as Robux and can't be directly converted into real money through Roblox. Lucas says he learned this information from Kaiser, who is known to be a friend of Saul and is considered by some people to be a reliable source. On top of that, Lucas claimed that two other members of the Forsaken team also confirmed the same thing. If this information is accurate, it means that the Robux Saul receives can only really be used inside Roblox itself, such as giving Robux to other users or buying items in-game. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean the situation is completely resolved. Even if Soul can't DevX the Robux directly, there are still other ways people could potentially convert Robux into money, such as transferring it to other accounts, using friends, or purchasing limited items and selling them through third-party sites. However, Lucas said that as far as he knows, there's no proof that Soul is currently doing this. Lucas also made it clear that this doesn't automatically mean Forsaken is completely safe from the controversy. Soul still receives Robux from purchases related to the game, even if those Robux can't be officially turned into cash through DevX. Because of that, the situation is still pretty controversial. Some people argue that Soul could still be secretly converting Robux into money through other methods. There are quite a few ways people have managed to do that in the past, so some believe it's possible he could be doing it privately or through indirect methods. Others have also pointed out that if Robux were being converted through unofficial or illegal methods, it could potentially cause legal problems or affect the contract between Soul and Forsaken. But at the moment there's no real proof of that happening, and even if it were true, pursuing something like that legally would likely take a long time. On top of all this, there's also Pariah, who reportedly receives another 15% cut of Forsaken, and many people in the community aren't very fond of him either. Unlike Soul, it's unclear whether Pariah is able to DevX his share, but many assume that he probably can. So overall, reactions to this information have been pretty split. Some people are calling it a nothing burger, while others think it could actually be good news for Forsaken. For now though, we'll probably just have to wait and see how things develop. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Next, I want to talk about the Toolbox Noli skin and some brand new content he might be getting soon. If you don't know, Toolbox is one of Noli's skins in Forsaken, and it's a pretty simple one compared to a lot of the others. The only real custom things it has are its model, and a few sound effects, which makes sense when you look at what the skin is supposed to be. Toolbox Noli was always meant to be more of a joke skin. The design itself comes from a low-quality toolbox model of Noli, which is why it looks a bit goofy and simple. Because of that, it's also one of the cheapest skins in the game, costing only $500. So overall, it was never meant to be super detailed like some of the other Noli skins. However, it now looks like the developers might be adding something new to it. Recently, we got a small teaser showing what appears to be a new hallucination face, and based on the design, a lot of people believe it's meant for Toolbox Noli. The main reason people think this is because the face looks very square, and the Void Star appears flat, which matches Toolbox's design pretty closely. This is actually pretty cool to see, not just because it means Toolbox Noli is getting something new, but also because it could mean other skins might receive their own hallucination faces too. Some skins in the game are still missing them, like a Fialti's Noli, so this could open the door for more skins to get small updates like this in the future. Some players have also been speculating that Toolbox Noli might receive even more upgrades, like custom animations or extra effects. Personally though, I doubt that will happen, since the skin only costs $500, giving it a bunch of extra features will probably be a bit. Roblox fan, I have some terrible news. It's gone forever. This might take the cake as the worst Roblox update of all time, and the entire community is furious. If you're living under a rock and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm about to show you the Roblox Reddit, where the entire community is a dumpster fire. Apparently the new Roblox face update completely ruined the epic face. I have to see this for myself. Okay, this is the original epic face. Obviously now it's not so epic anymore because they made it not even a face, but a head, and now, what is this? The epic face is supposed to be smiling like this. Oh my gosh, are you... No, Spicy, what the craziest part about her actual... This is me, about to fight a team of evil players who are about to kill my friend Dosco because they're evil. Oh no, please do not kill me. I am very important to the story. Now, you're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, to understand why, we have to go back to 2 days ago. Me and Dosco... Today I chose head and shoulders. From the other agenda, I was never free, and my gorgeous hair became famous. Oh, eh? Maybe. I've never had shoulders. My jam. Up to 100% candy-free hair. Makes every day a head and shoulders day. Today, I'm calling out every type of four-station killer player. And if you get offended by this at all, then you're exactly who this video is for. So comment down below which one you're most relatable to. First up, we have the tunnel vision killer. This is the type of killer that sees one player early, and chances are they're a pretty good survivor, so they get away. This type of killer chooses only that player the entire match. They will ignore the easier targets. They will lose all the values around just to finish that one person. And if you do for no reason, then if you felt like they got stunned or anything, like, dude, you're not going to die if you just chase somebody else. It doesn't matter how difficult chasing this survivor is, they will just keep chasing it. Like, next up we have the easily Jew. Now this one I feel horribly bad for. You know when you're playing as a killer and you can tell exactly how a survivor is moving when they intend to juice you? For some reason, this type of killer falls for it every single time. It's like you're leading them with a rope. They will just, I don't think they have the ability of pattern recognition. At this point, you can send the killer a warning that you're about to do them, but they will still fall for it. And honestly, I feel bad for these types of people. I just keep them alone. Next up, we have the tryhard sweat lord. This is a player that plays every public match like it's a $10,000 tournament final. And it doesn't even matter how much time is left in the round. It could be 4 minutes left. They will still play like it's their final 5 seconds. This type of killer has to have the most effective and efficient, perfect passing. There is no chilling or relaxing. The second you mess up once, they will punish you instantly. They play so hard that you will feel it through your feet. Usually these players are the same ones who use killers with high skill feelings like John Doe. I honestly don't know what's going on in their heads. They could have a little bit of fun when they have like a whole 3 minutes left and 2 people alive, but they will still treat it like it's a military operation. Next up, we have the ganged up on killer. I honestly didn't even know what to name this one, but it is the most common one. Now, this one is low-key tragic, that's why it's funny. This is the killer that gets bullied by the entire team of survivors at the same time. And the worst part is that it's not even because they're bad. Like, this happens to both, it just happens to everyone. Every once in a while, a killer rolls into a lobby where all the survivors will be, like, perfectly synergizing like a squad. And every time you chase one person, you're gonna get stunned by three more. At some point, the survivors will join the start hunting the killer. And I also just feel bad for this one. I mean, it happens to me too. But yeah, if you're a killer who keeps getting jumped by 8 survivors at the same time, I want you to remember that I feel for you. And it will get better at some point. It only feels really, really annoying when I'm the killer, but honestly, when I'm the survivor, I'm probably also really. So, next up, we have the scary noob. The thing about scary noobs is that there are usually new people or people who aren't really good at the game, but they are so bad that they are actually good. They're not like polished, so their unpredictability makes them dangerous. Because they always have those weird routes that make no sense. And they have the most unpredictable timing ever, but it's unintentional. They literally make the worst decisions that still somehow work. And then survivors are like overthinking, and then they get caught. The thing is that this is the only type of person you can't read, because you can't read someone who doesn't even know what they're doing. You can't mind game a guy who's just freestyle. So if this is you, just keep doing what you're doing, because it's probably working. Next up, the silent assassin. You know when you're just chilling as a survivor, and you don't notice anything going on in the map, but suddenly people are dying, but you don't even know where the killer is. You haven't seen it. I forgot who the killer is. And now everybody's dying. Everything this killer does is too clean and too quiet. You don't get any warning signs. It's not like the other killers, where they just go in the middle of the map and go crazy on everybody and just spend their damage. These killers are actually smart. They don't waste time. They just chase one person at the corner of the map. These are the people that don't even need to prove they're good. You will literally just see it by how fast the match ends when you think it's doing well. And you're gonna think people are resetting or something until you actually meet the killer and he finds you at the corner of the map. And then it's gonna be like a final boss battle. And you're eventually going to understand why everybody was dying so crazy. This is possibly the best type of killer in Forsaken skill-wise. Next up, we have the ego killer. The truth is that in Forsaken, the easiest and quickest way to kill a survivor is to just smash them over and over again. But this type of player, no, they cannot handle that. They have to take an unnecessary risk for every kill that they try to get, even if they know it's not efficient. It has to be some sort of cool prediction. Everything is extra. You can feel it in the way they move too. Like you are not in a montage. You do not need to do that. The scariest part though is when you're running from the ego killer and they end up actually hitting their predictions and being good. That's when it's kind of embarrassing for the survivor because they're just styling on you and you can't do anything about it. But these people, they will always pass the safe play just so they can have the chance to disrespect you. Next up we have 80% of Forsaken players, the Meta Slave. They only play whatever is currently considered the strongest. You can always spot this type because the second the killer gets called broken, they're a full-time main. If any new patch drops, they already switch to killer. And don't get me wrong, sometimes picking the objectively better killer is cracked, but most of the time you can tell they're forcing a playstyle that they don't really enjoy, just because they're terrified of not using the best option. So they just made whatever got buffed last week. Guess 666 and Slasher. Everybody wants the easiest advantage, but they don't understand that it matters more that you play your favorite killer that you're 20% better at than a killer that's 10% better than your favorite killer. Next up we have the late game demon. This is the killer that starts the match looking completely normal, maybe even a little bit mid. But as the game goes on a little longer, the chaos is still dying down, and then suddenly he turns into a final boss. I don't know what clicks in their head, but suddenly every chase is clean. And I don't know, I think it's because of the pressure that is in their head of not having enough time. But this type is terrifying because you don't know if they're good or bad. And this is the type that usually keeps clutching the last 30 seconds of the game over and over every time they kill somebody. It adds time, and eventually they somehow still win. It's like the first half of the match is just a warm-up for them. The Revenge Killer. You know when you're a survivor and you stun a killer? This is the killer who stops playing to win. They literally only start playing to get you back. And all it takes, one provoking move, a juke, or a stun, or an embarrassing miss, and the entire match changes. Now they don't even care about pressure, they don't care about the smarter targets or who's easiest to kill. They want you.
they will turn it into their life mission. And the thing is that they were normal before this. Like, when somebody else hit them, they would just chase somebody else. But when you hit them, they will destroy their whole game plan just because they got outplayed. And the thing that makes this funny is sometimes they're actually a good killer. They're just emotional. And this is basically the tunnel vision killer, but with a story instead. Next up, we have one that is secretly common. Not a lot of people even know that everybody else does this, but it's the overthinker. The one that cannot decide which survivor to go for. This killer loses fights because they're trying to be too smart. They don't even fall for like the obvious jukes. They fall for the jukes that don't even exist. You're gonna do one normal movement, and the killer will start reading into it like it's a chess match. Me personally, I do this a lot. I always think the survivors are trying to like counter me or predict, and then they just keep running in a straight line. Now this killer, for their life.
Alright. Seems cold enough.